Okay. Happy Tuesday. We know, market conditions right now, and not a lot going on. So for me, coming into today, fairly a simple day because I only have two names on my close watch list, which is perfect anyway. Less is more, and that's going to be Apple and Nvidia, but we'll get into that. So you can see here on the 1 hour, of course, right? We're bullish bias on this market, but we're just back in this channel. We're just back in this channel. Spies in between the previous day high, the previous day low. There's nothing going on here. There's nothing going on. We can expect, better movement tomorrow, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. We won't know until we know. Uh, but I do have an alert here. Anything can happen at any given time. And like I said, this is our last key level. This is our last key level, the 685.25. Before Q's, I'm sorry, before SPY sees all-time high. But coming into today, dead smack in the middle of the range, dead smack in between the previous day high, the previous day low. There's nothing going on there. Q's, same thing here. Let me get rid of that. Same thing here on the Q's, right? Unfortunately, we did fall back under, 624. I was hoping we would hold this, just so that way, we're not back in this channel. But today, we're starting off dead smack in between the previous day high, the previous day high, the previous day low. And then now, since we are under 624.50, now we are just back in this channel on the daily. Not ideal. So understanding the market conditions, right? The overall market buying cues are in a channel. Nothing here on Tesla. Nothing here on Tesla. You can see what 435 is where it's sitting at right now. It's dead smack middle of the range. There's nothing here on Tesla. Nvidia. So Nvidia's on my close watch list. It's definitely on my close watch list. you know, the thing about Nvidia, and you just really have to be patient here. I mean, who knows? Because on a technical standpoint, right, even though we are getting our setup, right, it's just opening up here. That's the thing, like just dead smack here. But on a technical standpoint, yesterday we technically did right get the break, we got the retest, we got the rally, and then even here during the pre-market, it's I wouldn't say it was too deep, but still technically, we did get a pullback, and then you can see such a strong level here on this weekly. Buyers did step up. So coming into today, I'm hoping, right, we can get a pullback long here on Nvidia. This was a news-driven play as well, so we got to keep that in mind. This was a news catalyst play. This big rally here from Trump allowing them to send their chips or something over to China. So that's why we got this big move. So if we don't get this pullback here on 184.50 and we just rip to the upside, it's really because we already got the retest, so we can't be surprised. But I'm just looking for a pullback long off of 184.50 or a break and retest over 190.10. But as long as Nvidia is over 184.50, it's free game now. Now we can look to trade this name. If we fall under 184.50, clearly we know we're hands off. We're back in the channel. Um, if this sets up today, I'm gonna be patient. Because the overall market is in the channel. So we'll see, if we can find some divergence, if Nvidia looks stronger, if it's in sync with the market. These things matter. So I'm just gonna be patient and hold my water there, but Nvidia is definitely on my close watch list. And then Apple. So Apple looks really good, right? Once again, a name that's somewhat sitting in a channel. Our thesis was correct yesterday. Not a deep enough pullback, but like I said, we want to be in a trade down here before we get up here. So beautiful here on Apple. Just looking for a break and retest over 279. Very simple. Very, very simple. Out of every tech name, Apple is really the most bullish. I love to see these reactions right here during the pre-market. Before we get a breakout. But if Apple doesn't do anything today, right, we can't really be too surprised because it's pretty much in a channel on the daily and then in between both the previous day high and low. So let our trade come to us. A break and retest over 279 is beautiful, just because there's nothing in its way. I'll zoom out here. You can see we're sitting back in this little channel. All you got to do is look left. Our 275.90, beautiful level here. I support. You can see every time we pull back here, buyer step up, defend it. So beautiful key level here. But this is just solid because there's nothing in its way to the upside. This is a big RR trade. This is the dip buy. You can see even got a little bull flag action setting up. Right, this is a beautiful setup. So I will be eyeing Apple 279. So fairly simple, this morning. I only have two names on my close watch list, which is Nvidia and Apple. AMD looked pretty good. Right, I do have an alert here. It looked good during the after hours. Looked like we were actually going to hold and get over this weekly level. As soon as we do, we're bullish bias on this name, but still sitting in the channel. Still sitting in the channel. But our 225 is the key level here. It's no coincidence. Every time we keep pushing up into this thing, sellers keep showing their hand. It's no surprise. During the after hours, during the pre-market, here, and then a big rejection here. And you can clearly see, we're just stuck in this channel, in this range. So this is our A plus shot. This is the dip buy, 225. We're just gonna be very patient, let that come to us. And then Netflix, nothing going on Netflix, right? We're looking for a pop and fade off of 99 or a break and retest under 95. So we're just letting our trade, come to us. So, I love that this is a weekly level here as well. We saw that play out in real time yesterday. It hold as support. we're bearish bias on this name. We ended up getting this break yesterday, never the retest. So these are two weekly levels, two weekly levels. So I will be watching this today on Netflix, but as of right now, it's dead smack middle of the range and a channel. It's not near our key level, so it's not on our close watch list. So very simple there. So let me go here. Yeah, so you can see, right, NVIDIA, close watch, Apple, close watch. We'll see, right? Context matters. So, these set up, but hey, the market's like pulling it back or I'm not seeing any relative strength. May have to skip that trade. We just got to be patient. We got to see, tomorrow's FOMC, so we can expect things to just be a little bit cleaner and better after tomorrow. Minute and 30 seconds here. Let's see. Spotting some divergence. Cues in the SPY before market opens. Let's see. About 45 seconds here. Apple looks strong during the pre-market. Apple looks strong. Just gotta wait and see. Both SPY and Qs are pushing right now to the upside. Very big open here, or a big rally here for the SPY and Qs. Remember, I don't trade that first 2-minute candle, so I'm gonna wait to see what NVIDIA does here. There's clear divergence here on Apple. Qs is pulling back and NVIDIA is pulling back. So that's my first indicators. I'm not really spotting divergence on NVIDIA. Clear divergence on Apple. There's divergence on SPY and the Qs as well. SPY is pushing up, Qs is pulling back. Like I said, I don't trade that first 2-minute candle, too risky. Okay, so yeah, I'm looking at Apple because SPY and Qs is pulling back and Apple's the only one that's showing us relative strength compared to the overall market. So we just gotta wait and see. Very volatile open here, of course, right? So if NVIDIA sets up, we're not playing the reclaim. We're waiting for a break and retest to set up again because buyers never, clearly, right? Buyers never showed their hands here. It's kind of throwing me off. Give me one sec. I need like a gap. Overall market's pulling back. Apple's holding up fairly well. I do like that. Look at Apple. So I need a gap. These two being like side by side is throwing me off. Yeah, I'm being patient here. Apple's like the only tech name. The only tech name. You can see NVIDIA didn't even attempt to hold that. It's a Tuesday, so if Apple sets up, I'm comfortable playing one strike out of the money. The delta's 44. That's pretty decent. So it would be like the 280 calls. But remember, we got to wait for like proper displacement and everything. So we need some time here. Also, we do have red photo news at 7 a.m. Okay, I'm looking at Apple. I need this candle to close though with good displacement. And that's not what you want to see. Yeah, this is how we avoid fake outs, right? Such a strong key level here on Apple. Apple is holding up though. Let's see. Market looks okay. We got SPY right now breaking through the high day, get a little V-shaped recovery there. SPY is relatively stronger than the Qs, but we know that. And Nvidia stepped up. I like it, but remember we need a break and retest over this level. I'm not playing a reclaim here. Yeah, we just got a red photo news at 7 a.m. SPY looks strong. I'm looking at Apple here. I just need to see how this candle closes. If it can close like that, looks good. I'm looking at the 280 calls. Looking at the 280 calls. Beautiful displacement here. Now we just want this retest. Looking at Nvidia too. Nvidia could be setting up as well. Clear divergence here on Apple. We're just waiting for that retest. I'm looking at Nvidia here too. $185 calls on Nvidia if that sets up. Need more displacement. It's about a 38-cent displacement here on Nvidia. So off of a weekly level, so I need a little bit more displacement, but let's see if we can get strong buyers to step up here like aggressively. I'll take it. Nope. NVIDIA's trying to hold, but that's just not enough displacement. Remember, it's the body of the candle. So like we've only got like really a 38-cent breakout here. Hughes is pushing into 260, 224.50. So that could be a possible rejection, that we're seeing. Apple looks good. I'm just waiting. No strong buyers on Apple at all. At all. That's how we avoid fake outs. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Apple did everything else, right? It gave us the breakout, key level, proper displacement. Let's see how this holds, though. I want to see what this next candle does. I'm just not seeing any strong buyers here. NVIDIA, not enough displacement here. Yeah, no buyers at all. Instead of watching Apple, let's just see how this candle closes. Because now Apple and Qs are in sync. I'm not really spotting too much divergence anymore. See these wicks? Yeah, I don't like that. Watching a video. Right, and NVIDIA can give us like a candle closure above these. You can see, right, we are wicking above, but look at the body of the candle's closure here. It's the only thing. So we're really like, it's not even a 40-cent breakout of displacement. You can see every time we push into this, right, wick step up. We know in the daily, we keep pushing into this and rejecting. So that's why I'm being very cautious here. Just waiting for proper displacement first on the video. Looking at Apple, if I can see strong momentum here, step in on Apple, I like it. I need strong momentum. The video looks good. Look at NVIDIA. I'm long Apple, taking my shot. I took the 280 calls. Spotting some divergence on it. I understand Apple's a slow mover. Let's see. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. The contracts are holding well. I'm only down 1%. So these contracts are holding well. SPY's pushing. I understand how Apple moves. I'm just trying to give this a little bit of time. Clear the resistance here. Maybe if we could break through that, but we'll see. SPY's pushing. SPY's like pushing through the high day, breaking through the high day. Just gotta be patient here. It's not the best price action on SPY, but like SPY's pretty strong. SPY is strong. It's ripping through the high day. Q's is starting to push. See if Apple can hold here. Yeah, market's pushing very heavy. I'm sorry, very strong. So I just need Apple to like kind of follow with. Apple looks good. Right, we sat through the hard part. My only concern is like is Q's, pushing into yeah, this market is ripping to the upside. I just need Apple to start to follow. Nice. There we go. There we go. There we go. Scale accordingly how you want. I'm sitting in these because it's starting to work out. You got a nice pop there. I'm just trying to be very patient here. I just like that the market's strong, the market's pushing. Remember, it's Apple, so like these don't move that well in the underline. It's a Tuesday, so I'm accepting the risk here. These contracts are pushing though. There we go. There we go. Nice. This looks really good. There we go. That's what you want to see. I'm gonna scale off some there, 90 there, and then my stop loss on the rest is under 279. I'll see what happens. Nice. These look good. Apple's doing good. Right? We just got to understand our ticker here. Like it's not Tesla, right? We know that. Nice. Man, SPY looks great. SPY is like ripping. My stop loss on my runner is just under 279.27 here. But I want to see if this thing can like gravitate towards the high today. Let's see. It's holding. It's holding. Let's see. All right. Nice. I stopped out the rest there on my runners. SPY looks really good though. Yeah, we did really good going with Apple. You can see Nvidia ended up, flirting with this, falling under. Apple looked really, really good. It's still technically holding, if you're in this. Let's see. I hope so. Yeah, that was a good sell. That was a good sell. I'm very happy with that. Let's see. That was solid. Right off the pre-market plan. Right, I saw a buyer step up here. I was very patient. I wanted to see this next candle form above it and see if we can get some momentum. That's really all part of the retest. And then I took my shot. I was hoping we kind of get this push into the high today. Surprisingly for Apple, those contracts held very well. The most I was down on that trade was like 2-3%. Those contracts held pretty decently. Let me show you what I'm talking about here on the SPY. I'm in the trade, for Apple. And I'm looking at the SPY, and SPY is just ripping to the upside. That SPY looks good on the intraday. Sweet. Hmm. Yeah, that's a good sell on Apple. I mean, we are bullish buyers. The one thing I was kind of concerning me was this, right? Was Q's pushing into this 264, right? 'Cause then it could just reject that. So that's the only thing I was like being a little cautious about while sitting in a long position. It's like Q's approaching some resistance. But you can clearly see the divergence on SPY and Q's. Let's see. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, it's not the best price action today. Let's see. The only way I would take a trade on Nvidia is I need like a proper displacement candle, like body of the candle to close above this, because the market's ripping right now. Market's ripping. We just had news. SPY's gone. SPY is crazy gone. Um, you can see, right, that there's a lot of resistance in here. This is a weekly level. We keep peaking and failing above this. So the only way I really take this setup here on Nvidia is like just a proper displacement body candle closure. That's it. I'm not messing around with this level. It keeps trapping a lot of people. Just I can't mess with it. See what I mean here on the cues, like just rejection. But SPY just looks better today compared to the cues. SPY looks a lot better. Like look at cues, look at SPY, just in the intraday. Like I said, still sitting in a range. It's still sitting between the previous day high and low, but see, I'm not messing around with this on Nvidia. Yeah, really nothing here for me on Apple anymore. I feel like if Qs can break over, let me show you. If Qs can break over, this 264, I feel like Nvidia can go. That's the only thing. But right, we got to find the correlation. Like context matters. So, Qs is stuck in a channel. It's stuck in between the previous day high, the previous day low. It's stuck in between the first 5 minute candle, as I taught you, right? Statistically speaking, if we're stuck in between the first 5 minute candle, we're just gonna chop. So it's kind of what you see here as well, like on the video. Yeah, maybe a little bull flag setting up, but we're just sitting sideways. We had a very strong, candle to the downside at open. We know we're bullish bias. We know that much, but we never held. Buyers never held here. So I wouldn't be looking for a reclaim. And then I need way more displacement because the top, let's see, our biggest displacement candle is, 184.78, like barely a 40-cent breakout. So I just need a lot more displacement on this. Like what I would love to see is like maybe like a break above here, like above all this, and then a retest. See these wicks that keep coming in? Like I don't like that. And the overall market is just not like, look at Q's, right? Like we just need a lot of things to, not a lot, but we need things to align in order to like really take a trade. So like this is what I mean when I say, we skip a trade, even though on a technical analysis standpoint, it did set up. So I'm just being cautious here on the video because we keep pushing in a 184, but we keep rejecting as well. And I just haven't got enough, displacement here on this name. See what I mean there? Yeah, like pretty much a 40 cent breakout displacement. Like right now is what you see like a break in base. Like we're basing above our 184. But then you saw Apple, right? Apple's a beautiful example. We got clear displacement, clear displacement. So that's a no-brainer, right? But there hasn't been clear displacement here on the video. The bigger the displacement, the better. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Give me one sec. Mm, Yeah, there's nothing here on the video. Like I said, I mean, we got FOMC tomorrow. I'm trying to see like maybe we'll get some displacement here, but I just don't like that Q's is pushing into like this 264.50. And then I'll show you like this is that was a good shot on Apple. But even though it was like a winning trade, what I'm trying to show you is like what I was looking for. And there's a big RR trade. There's nothing in its way to the upside. There's nothing in its way. End up sweeping right this previous day highest liquidity. You can clearly see. So we probably had a tough time getting over that. We're bullish bias on this name, clearly. So we just wait. We just wait. Like now it's just built up liquidity here. The seller stepped in very aggressively. So then we just wait for a break and retest over, once again, 279. It's just market conditions right now. But if this, if this holds, this plays out, super solid. Like this is a high probability shot. This name is trending. It's bullish. We got the break and retest, and we took our shot, right? I scaled out like basically due to like market conditions. because I'm seeing that, you know, when I'm in the trade, Qs and SPY is pushing pretty hard to the upside, but Apple not too much. I didn't like that. I didn't necessarily like that. Casino video is just chopping around, but overall here, give me one sec. Just not a lot going on. Yeah, Wisconsin really moved too much there. Hmm. Sells upwards. Yeah, that's fine. Let me see. So I'll show you really quick. Um, what is this overall market? And then tomorrow, it may be a cash day. We'll see. Okay, so give me one sec. Why is this bugging? Yeah, the video's just flirting with this 184. This is not. And my TOS was like tripping right now. Hmm, give me one sec. Okay, so when you look at a lot of these names, right? Just not much going on. Look at, even though SPY, you can clearly see strong on the intraday, right? Just, we're in this channel on the daily, and then we're in between the previous day high, the previous day low. Qs, clearly, right? Nothing going on. Not the best price action. You can see yesterday, right? Resistance. And then today, right? Just turned into resistance. I don't really like that push into that as well. But, we did sweep this previous day low here. Big bounce, but just not much going on. But that's expected. That's expected. For those in the Discord, like I showed you the news yesterday, like a lot of these hedge funds and banks are just, chilling right now until FOMC passes. Tesla, nothing going on, inside bar day, and then it's stuck literally in the middle of the range. But I'd rather it move higher than lower. Depending on how you trade, I mean, by all means, you know, feel free to trade Tesla, but it's a low probability environment. Can't stress that enough. Like, look at this. It's a low probability environment. Just dead smack on the daily. NVIDIA, right? We're watching this, but there's nothing going on NVIDIA right now. Why is this thing shut? You can see Apple playing your trade your plan. That was the pre-market game plan. All right, break and retest over 279. It's just a big RR trade. Nothing in its way. We're bullish bias, but you can see even today, inside bar day, swept the liquidity, rejected, and now it's just sitting in the middle. So nothing going on Apple. We took our shot though. AMD, right? Just nothing going on. So across the market, look at the conditions. AMD's in a channel as well on the daily. Just got to be patient. Swept this previous day low, buyers out, pushed this thing higher, but really nothing going on here. Let's see. Yeah, swept the previous day highs liquidity as well. So since both are already, mitigated, which means they both been swept, it's just chilling. And then Netflix, right? No surprise for Netflix. I kind of expected this just because, the last 2 days, look at the price action here. Like Netflix been moving. even though we haven't got our retest yet, keyword yet, we're gonna be patient. Netflix has been moving. It definitely has. Look at yesterday. I'm sorry, Friday, and then yesterday. So today, after a nice trendy day, was followed up by a consolidation. So, like, really no surprise here. This thing is just stuck in a channel, but we can expect that across the board until after tomorrow. But right, the only two names that are on my close watch list coming into today was Apple and Nvidia. Apple setup, I took my shot. My job's not to be right or wrong; it's to take my setups that I believe are like the highest probability, and that was Apple. Right, I manage my trades based on like, what the market's telling me, and I didn't like that SPY's ripping to the upside, Q's is ripping to the upside, and Apple was fighting a little bit. It wasn't really flowing with the market. So to me, I'm not spotting too much. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm all the way here. There's let's see, there's not too much. It's not too much going on. I'm gonna be very patient here on Apple. Like this is gonna set up eventually. Knowing Apple though, Apple loves to give a setup on a Friday if you haven't noticed a pattern. But kind of like I explained to everyone else, like I see this forming. Like this is the dip eye. I keep saying Apple looks at absolute best. On the daily when it just comes to technical analysis. This thing is just stair stepping higher. So, and we know Apple. I mean, you can see here, right? When Apple wants to rip, it will rip. There's no doubt about that. So, to me, this is the dip. It takes time, but I just see this as like, right? We want to see that, right? Get that. That is perfect. So it's definitely, it's holding. Our 275.90. It's definitely holding. See, this is such a strong key level here. Such a strong key level. Right, FOMC. So maybe we'll definitely get some better price action after the fact, but this is setting up. This is what I'm looking at. I took it today, right? We didn't get that follow through completely. That's expected, but once it runs, it will run. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here. There's just really just nothing going on across the board. See what I mean? Just range channels. On that Apple trade, we were very patient. I sat in that trade for, yeah, 5 minutes. Or was it 10? Yeah, I sat in that trade 10 minutes on the dot, almost 11 minutes. So it's very patient on that trade to let that play out. Uh, okay, I think I'm gonna call it here. Let's see what's going on my Amazon. Yeah, nothing on Amazon. IWM, just sitting here in this range. Google. It's a great opportunity, like if this does set up. Not the best price action. Yeah, not the best price action. See what I mean? Like we're not really doing anything here on the video. And then I don't have the overall market behind me. So when you look at it this way, give me one sec. Right, we're just sitting sideways, we're consolidated. We're in between the first 5 minute candle as well. Not necessarily like that. But yeah, yeah, not too much. But hope you guys are able to learn something. Um, right, just gotta be patient. We're gonna sit on our hands until FOMC passes. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, Apple does look good. Like Apple's the best in the daily. Yeah, Apple looks really good. We're gonna get in a video eventually. I'll show you guys this before I dip out. Like this was a news catalyst play here. I ended up like sharing this, explaining this to the Discord, but like this big breakout during the after hours was a news catalyst play. But that's why, I'm not really fond of like trusting news plays because, right, it's a news play. It's not a technical analysis setup. So you see how we get that crazy rip to 190 due to the news play with the chips in China, and then as soon as we open, we're already back under 184. So like, unfortunately, right, I thought at least we'll chop today in between 190.10 and 184. And we'll see how this candle closes on the daily. You can see Nvidia, we're bullish bias. You can see the daily, each day we're moving higher. It's not the best price action, but you can see this bull flag setting up and then the form of the break. So I'm being very patient waiting for this. But I know how Nvidia moves. It's also not the fastest mover on the underlying, kind of like Apple. Moves a little bit better than Apple, but it's not a fast one, like Tesla or something like that. Nvidia is great to trade like on a Wednesday, on a Thursday. But right now, it's just slowly but surely, slowly but surely. Like look at yesterday and then look at today. So we can expect this from a lot of these names before FOMC. Like look at that. That's terrible. There's nothing going on. Apple, right? This was the best looking name. This was the best looking name. Look at that. I mean, beautiful breakout. Nice displacement. Our key level here was 279. We got a dollar breakout, a little bit over a dollar breakout. Pullback. We held our water here because I didn't see buyer step up. So I waited for because this all technically this is all part of the retest because my stop loss is still going to be under here. So we pulled back. Buyers never showed their hands. I was patient. Maybe I could have entered here, but context matters. The only good thing about entering here is like your stop loss is very very tight. But I want to take my trade off my level. I waited for this candle to close with some momentum and I took my shot. So this is like the best looking setup out of today. And everything else is a chop and a range. This is the only best looking thing right off the pre-market plan and we took it. So hope that makes sense. I scaled out the way that I did because the overall market was pushing to the upside. Apple was holding, but it wasn't ripping like SPY or Qs is ripping. I didn't necessarily like that. Let me show you. Right, look at this. So from open, all the way up to here, SPY was moving pretty well. High day, 684.95. I'm around that to the 685. Then we opened at 682. So very strong open here on SPY. Very strong open. I like that. And then like terrible price action here on the Qs. Not the best. Not good. I mean, it's a good thing we're not selling off, sure. But you can see, pushing into our 624.50. There's wicks every time we get closer to that, so that's expected. But nevertheless, yeah, it's a good job today. We're very patient. We held our water. Um, we held through the storm. We were in that trade for a little bit over 10 minutes. Less is more. There's only 2 names on my close watch list because there's nothing going on. So hope you guys are able to learn something. Stay safe, right? Understand the conditions. We can start to step on the gas a little bit once this market breaks out of this channel. But this, like on SPY and the Qs, I'm really waiting for this. I'm hawking this thing because actually I'll go here on the daily. Yeah, it's not the best price action, but we are at the top of the range. We are at the top of the range. If once or if SPY gets over 685.25, there's nothing in its way to all-time highs. There's nothing in its way. So this consolidation very normal, right? We just went on a crazy rip, and then we're consolidating, waiting for our next leg higher. We're gonna wait for news to pass. So don't be discouraged. Do not. This thing looks good. It's just setting up. Right? We don't know what news will do. Right? That's not our job to know, but setting up. If once Q's gets over 629.05, there's nothing in its way to the upside. And the reason that I like a long over 624 is because we'll be turning this channel into support. Like this is not a channel above 624.50. So that's a nice RR trade, 624 to 629. And then of course over 629, clear shots all time high. It's very normal. It's very, very normal. The price action is trash, but out of what, almost 2.5, 3 trading weeks, we've only had 2 red down close candles. So that's solid to me. The way I see it is like as long as the market's not selling off, I'm cool. As long as market's holding structure and it's staying up, that's perfectly fine to me. That is fine. It looked very promising here on Friday. We got up to 688. I'm around that to 40, and then right our all-time high is 689.70. So we were close. We were definitely close. And then, like I said, right, the best looking name out of every tech name. I've been saying this forever. I know you may think I'm sponsored by Apple, but it's really Apple. Apple is like the best looking name on the daily. Like you want to talk about stair stepping higher? This thing's just literally stair stepping higher. It looks really, really good. So we'll see. We'll see. But I will see you guys tomorrow.